Hello and welcome to my online reflection folio, which is based on the practical literacy and numeracy test from Swinburne University of Technology for the unit literacy and numeracy across the curriculum. I have to explain my results, why it benefits me as a person, as a teacher, how it will benefit my students, and what kind of theoretical frameworks would actually help to improve their critical understanding and the transferable skills that relates to literacy and numeracy. So, how do I actually go? As you can see in these examples above and on the side, I didn't actually do very well, but I did notice there was a lot of questions that actually are relevant to business and humanities methods teachings that also reflect the basics of how to build and create more skills and knowledge around literacy and numeracy. As above, there's a labour force structure that explains the employed and unemployed statuses for Australia around that year, and it is relevant for the numeracy and literacy side, based for the actual understanding of what demographics that need to be explained, the percentages, and how to actually come across those percentages. And on the left is also more about percentages and how literacy and numeracy is not just one dynamic, it goes into multiple. So I kind of felt while I was going for the test that it was just more than just literacy and numeracy. I think there was a lot of trick questions, as you can see above with question 32, that kind of was more about tailored around critical thinking, because when I first attempted the test, I initially clicked Q because that's the actual meaning of that word. However, it came up as incorrect, so I tried Band-Aid, another informal slang. So the third attempt I picked remedy and it still wasn't correct. So I kind of felt like that was a trick question. And I was on the lower side on this side. There was a few other questions that kind of felt a bit too wordy or that just didn't actually explain of what actually needed to happen. So I kind of feel like there's one way that needed to be improved by actually rewording the questions. So as you can see with my results, I have done 3 attempts. So as you can see on my first attempt, it was the strongest out of all of those attempts. So from what I gathered, my strengths was the focus. When I did break it down, my results were a lot better. When I was actually on a time limit and focusing on the whole picture instead of just certain segments, it wasn't as high. But the scores were low to begin with because the highest you can get is 320. It's probably based on my own barriers with literacy. I always have issues with that. Numeracy I'm okay with. So what does it actually say about myself as a teacher? Well, I kind of consider it as a learning curve. So you have to know where you need to improve and how to do it. So in my case, I mostly need to work more on my grammar, punctuation, and also look at different times of English language. Also, another thing that says about the thing is empathy. Initially, I got frustrated, but then I can empathize with my past self and other people who have learning disabilities like myself, or have worse cases, like how to be patient and how to find activities and theoretical approaches that actually can help benefit them in the long run, which leads to perseverance. With everything, the first step is to fail. So to build from that, you always got to keep practicing and trying and not giving up. And that's where masters usually start off with. They always persevere, which kind of leads to a level of focus. With perseverance, there usually comes attention and focus. So it says myself as a teacher that I never give up. I always focus and I always make sure it's done. And also to do all I can for people in a team environment or as a teacher or an educator to ensure that I'm doing all I can in my capacity to have everyone else to succeed. So how can I improve my current literacy and numeracy skills? So as growing up, I've had learning disabilities, but I'd never been officially diagnosed. Educators had treated me like as a mild case of dyslexia. Until I can able to get assessed, I've just been going around and doing everything of what I can do and building on top of that. So to ensure that I'm actually up to standard, I look at the general capacity practice on literacy and numeracy and build on what I need to do to ensure that I raise the standard for myself, and not just for myself, but for my own knowledge and skill set to teach students, especially students who have a second language and need extra help, since English is extremely hard, and also with mathematics is not exactly easy either. So with leading to that, it has led to what is my professional identity. So as a pre-service teacher, there's many pathways I can take, and I'm leaning towards low socioeconomic in-state schools, mostly because that's where I came from, and it's actually kind of gave me more of an insight and expanded on where I need to improve and what actual courses and improvisation and also transferable skill set I do need to build on to achieve that. So how can I actually assist my students in my disciple area from this test? As you can see above my head, these theoretical approaches would be useful, especially I do, we do, you do. Mostly because like you need to have a template or give students an indication of what goal would they need to achieve and how to do it. So, for example, with accounting, students don't know how to do a cash flow statement, as majority of adults. So I write down what is required for a cash flow statement, and then after that, we do a new one, but as a group. So we discuss and we get demonstrative how to actually do a cash flow statement. And then after that, when they feel confident enough, I give them an exercise and they write their own one up. But of course, I'll be assisting them to ensure that they're on the right track when they're confused or they're unsure what's going on. With the other two circles, with the numeracy and literacy, both of these, they are very, very, very embedded of business management and just planning in general, which is always the case with businesses, economics, accounting, and civics and citizenship. We always need a plan. We always need to do a goal. We always got to assess information and data. Also, whether or not if this formula or this ratio is accurate to what the goal is at the end. Which kind of leads to an inquiry approach. So it actually gives opportunity for students to look for, as an example, in business management, to look at companies they are interested in, or how does this approach work, or how does this revenue work, or in legal studies of how did this precedent occurred, and also increases their independent base learning, and in which they increases their critical thinking and expands on their literacy and numeracy skills. In conclusion, I have a long way to go, but I am on the right track because I am persevering. I have taken multiple attempts of this test. I'm still going to practice because I got my land type coming up, and also it's kind of encouraged me to read more and do a lot more sums. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day or night. Cheers.